Today is all about creating your own personal pants pattern. Welcome to another video from my atelier. In my coming videos, I am open for any suggestions you might have. But first, you need to take the measures you need for drafting this pants pattern. You need to measure your waist width, where you measure smooth around your waist. Your hip width, measure smooth around the hip, and your knee width, measure around a bended knee. And you need to measure your foot width. Look at some favorite pants you have and decide if you want the same width or put any width you like. Next, you need to measure your side length. Measure from the underside of the waistband to the floor. And while you have the waistband on, sit on a chair and measure from the underside of the waistband to the seat center back. This is your seat height. And at the end, you need to deduct the seat height from the side length to get the inner side length. And the last measure you will need is the knee height, which is half of the inner side length plus 5 centimeters. Apart from that, you need to calculate your front pant width by deducting 1 centimeter from a quarter of your hip width. And as well as the back pant width, where you add 1 centimeter to half of your hip width. Add all these measures to your size chart that you can download for free. Divide them into halves and quarters to make it easier when you draft this pant pattern. For this pattern, I am using the measures for a size 16. And we start by drawing a long vertical line on the left side of your cardboard. And on top, you start by marking point number 1. From 1 to 2, you mark the seat height. And if you want loose pants, you can add 2 to 3 centimeters. But if you just want a basic pant, only use the seat height. From 1 to 3, you mark the side length. From 3 to 4, you mark the knee height. From 2 to 5, you mark 1/10 of half the hip width plus 3 centimeters. At the top, from 1 to 6, you go 1 centimeter down for the waist help line. From all the points, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2, you draw perpendicular lines to the right. From point 5, you mark the front pant width Here, this is 7. It's 1/4 of the hip width minus 1 centimeter. From 5 to 7. From 7 to 8, you mark 1/10 of half the hip width plus 1 centimeter further out. And again, if you want them wider, you add 3 to 4 centimeters in width. If you want a looser pant. But let's just stick to 1/10 of half the hip width plus 1 centimeter from 7 to 8. Now you mark the middle of 5 to 8 as 9. Draw a long vertical line up and down through 9. It's the middle of the front piece, also used as a press fold if you like that. Mark it 10 at the bottom and 11 at the waistline. At number 7, again you draw a vertical line up and down to the waist and the hip line. Mark the point at the hip line as 12 and 13 at the waist. At number 4, the knee line, measure 1/4 of the knee width minus 1 centimeter out from each side of the middle. If you want them looser, don't deduct 1 centimeter, but just put 1/4 of the knee width. From point 10 at the bottom, measure 1/4 of the foot width minus 1 centimeter out on each side. This is 16 and 17. Connect the points from 5 to 14 with a straight line, and further down to 16 at the bottom. Do the same on the other side from point 8 with a straight line down to 15 and 17 at the bottom. Now onto the center front. Connect 7 and 18 with a guideline. At point 7, mark half a centimeter out towards 8. At point 13, mark half a centimeter to 1 centimeter in. Now you can draw center front by connecting the new points at 7 and 13 and 18 with a curved line that goes 1 centimeter inwards with a curved ruler like that. Curve the lines slightly on each side towards the knee line, here and here. Use the big ruler Depending on your shape, you can eventually add half a centimeter outwards at point 2 and 18 if you need more room. If so, adjust the sidelines accordingly. From point 13 towards the left, in the waistline, measure a quarter of the waist width plus an addition of a quarter of a centimeter plus a pleat that is 2 centimeters here. You measure that from 13 towards the left. At the end, you will go 1 centimeter up, which will be 19, and curve the waistline slightly. Like that. And also over here at 13, so it's perpendicular at center front. Draw the new waistline. As shown here. Draw a suiting hip curve from 19 to 5 with the curved ruler. And continue to make a nice even curve that fits the curve down here. Mark the pleat at 11 to the left and or draw a dart eventually. A small pleat or a dart, you decide. At the bottom, you go half a centimeter up in the middle at 10, and again you use the big ruler to make a nice even curve. This was the front part. I hope you didn't find it too difficult. I will continue shortly when I have constructed the back pants. So stay tuned. So this is the back pant with a thicker line that I constructed here. The back pant is based on the front pant. Preparation for constructing this piece. You extend the waistline here at 6 to both sides, and you extend the hip line at 5 to both sides. From point 2 on the side of the front pant, you go 3 to 5 centimeters up and mark this point as 20. 3 centimeters up for if you have a full back shape, and 5 centimeters up if you have a more flat shape. So you decide, analyze your shape and put the right number here. as 20. From point 9, replace the middle of the front pant 1 to 2 centimeters to the right as the new middle for the back pant and mark it as 21. Connect point 20 with the new point 21 and extend the line. Measure a quarter of your back pant width to the right, and this is 22. Place a big rectangular ruler from 20 to 22 and like this, and draw the back center line up as shown here. Now place the big ruler on the back center line from here. You move it up until you hit the extended horizontal line at 0.5 with the back pant width measure. And you put that down here and mark it as 24. Now measure from this new point 24 to 21 and put the same measure from 21 to the right and you have 0.25. Measure 2 centimeters out at the knee on each side. This is 26 and 27. Do the same at the bottom. Measure 2 centimeters out on each side. This is 28 and 29. Connect the new points on each side up to the points 24 and 25. So you connect 25 to 27, further down to 29, and the same here from 24 to 26 and 28. Measure the length from point 15 to 18 on the front pant and transfer this measure minus half a centimeter to 1 centimeter up here towards 25. This is point 30. Draw a straight line from 26 to 24 and continue up until you hit the horizontal waistline on the front pant. And this is 31. Draw a punctuated help line from 31 to the middle of the knee line That is that is point 32. Measure this and transfer the measure from 32 up until it hits center back. So you have the same measure as here, up here, until it hits center back, which is 33. Connect the points 31 and 33 with a straight line. From 33 you go 1 centimeter in, and this is 34. Now draw the center back line from 34 to 22 and further down with a curve to 30 using your curved ruler like that. From 34 at the waistline, measure a quarter of your waist width plus a quarter of a centimeter in addition, plus 2 to 3 centimeter dart. Measure this towards 31. And this is 35. Place the dart in the middle of this new waistline from 34 to 35. Here I use 3 centimeter, and it's about 14 to 16 centimeters long. Now measure from 14 to 19 on the front piece and transfer this measure from on the back piece from 26 up to 35 and adjust the waistline here. Curve both sidelines slightly inwards from the waist and down to the knee. And finally, at the lower edge, you curve the back piece half a centimeter down at 10 and even out the line from 28 and 29. So you have a curved line up on the front and down at the back. There you have it, a personal pant pattern made to your measure. Copy out this pattern and sew a fitting model in cheap cotton fabric and adjust the pattern according to your figure. Use this pattern as a base for any shape or design alterations you want to make. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know how your pattern turns out in the comments, and don't hesitate to reach out if you encounter any issues. If you would like to own this pattern recipe, I am preparing a detailed PDF file that you can purchase for a small amount. The link will be added to the description below. And if you like this video, hit the like button to help me out spreading this content. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.